Good afternoon everyone, hope you're doing alright. Well, right now we are back with another abandoned place. And well, at the moment, I mean if you look around, we are currently in the middle of some woods. But this ain't just some woods. We're standing on this massive concrete slab, which looks like the foundations of an old building. Why would it look like the foundations of an old building? Well, that is because this woods is on the site of the abandoned RAF Clifton Moor, which was anyway, I should say, an RAF base just north of, literally just north of the city of York. And unlike last week where we explored Acaster Malbis, there is not a huge amount left of this place, but there is still a lot more left than I thought there was. I mean, the online resource that I use for finding these places, EDOB, marks a lot of these places as kind of remnants or unknown. But looking around, this place is currently, we are in Clifton Backies, which is a nature reserve, and there's a lot more, just from having a quick walk around, there's a lot more here than I realised, so I can't wait to show you guys around. But yeah, this is the first spot. We have these concrete foundations of an old building. I couldn't tell you what building it was, but I mean I'm sure we can find out with a little bit more research. But these remains obviously are pretty cool, but you might see, just like around here, not sure how well you can see, there are loads and loads of bumps in the ground, and that's because this place is littered with old blast shelters. Now apparently there's also a few air raid shelters around as well. Whether or not they still exist is another question. Let's have a little look in here. Oh, what's this? See, there's a few of these just little storage bins. I mean, if based on things I've seen before, like at Ford Airfield, these little bunkers here would have been for fuel storage mainly, hence why they're so small. But I mean, as there's nothing left of them and not a huge amount of record of them either, well, I guess deep research will be what it takes to find that out. But yeah, anyway, so yeah, today we're at Clifton Backies to explore the remains of RAF Clifton Moor. So yeah, let's go see what we can find. This woodland is a little bit creepy, I'm not gonna lie. It's about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. It was meant to rain today, so far it's been alright, but we might get caught out. We'll have to find out on that one. What is that? See, the problem is over here, there's something over there in the trees, but the problem with this place, it's very heavily wooded, which means you just walk around and you just stumble on anything. For example, well, first off, it's really muddy as well, which isn't very nice. Brought my walking boots, obviously. But anyway, first off, we've got our first blast shelter. Now these blast shelters, the airfield is littered with them. I mean, if you've seen last week's video, or was it last week? No, it was 2 weeks ago now. If you saw my last video of Acaster Malbis, there were lots of these around. Now these were small shelters, I believe, primarily used for a very quick temporary refuge in the case of an air raid or some sort of explosions. Unlike air raid shelters obviously have roofs and were built specifically for protection against air raids. I believe these little blast shelters, let's see if we can just get in. There we go. These little blast shelters, I don't believe had roofs on them. I mean, it might have. I mean, it's difficult to tell because obviously if it did, well, it obviously doesn't anymore. You can see there's a lot has collapsed as well, but these little entrances and narrow pathways. People would have hidden in here in the case of an air raid to escape blasts. So a lot of the remains I've found so far have been of little things like this. We'll take a look around them because this one's in pretty good nick actually compared to some of the others I've seen. But there's a well-known spot I'm not 100% sure where from here, but there's a well-known spot in part of this air raid, it's not air raid shelter, what am I talking about? This airfield, which has 8 of these blast shelters in all like 2x4, well, you can't see that, 2x4, kind of like that. And whether or not they're accessible is obviously what I'm here to find out. But yeah, I was just walking through this woods and just having a look at what's left, and there is so much more left than I thought there was. But yeah, anyway, let's keep it going. Let's see what we can find at the next place. Yeah, a lot of these old bunkers have been filled in pretty much. but I think there's one round the corner somewhere which hasn't, which we'll have to have a quick look at. You can see here, there's an old bike there. You can see these alongside heavily reinforced with earth in the case of a bomb attack to provide extra protection. So this RAF Clifton Moor was not originally built as an RAF base. It was opened in 1936 as York Municipal Aerodrome. After, in 1933, the site was used for the takeoff and recovery of planes for a flying circus. I like that. That's a cool little fact, that one. But yeah, it flew. It's just a little private airport. They had a few, like, they did have an air taxi service, but it wasn't very successful apparently. But on the 1st of September 1939, it was taken over by the RAF, and that's when it became RAF York. Well, as it's commonly known, but I mean its official name was RAF Clifton Moor. Oh, we found another one. Yeah, I mean I wasn't joking when I said that these old blast shelters are everywhere. They're littered all over this place. Yeah, so I haven't got much left of it, but anyway. But yeah, like I said, it was requisitioned in 1939 for to be turned into an RAF base. I believe at first it was used as a just a little satellite airfield, which meant it would only have like one runway and wasn't particularly big, because the big airport around here, the big airfield around here for the Second World War was RAF Linton-on-Ouse, which I think has recently just closed, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, don't quote me on that. I might be wrong. Here we got another one. Yeah, we're gonna be having a look at these. It's got a bit of a rope swing on that. That's pretty cool. Anyway, let's keep going. Yeah, I believe it was originally built as a satellite airfield to RAF Linton-on-Ouse, but then later on in the war, a couple of years later in the war, it was turned into a proper big proper airfield with concrete runways and everything, and I guess a hecton of blast shelters just in case, I guess. You see a lot of these are just filled with rubbish now, which is a shame, but still. And you've still got the old entrances. But yes, it was particularly used by there was a civilian plane repair and decommissioning plant at the airfield, which was heavily used during the war. The airfield closed officially in 1948. Hang on, let's have a little look in here. If you can see anything there. Yes, the airfield officially closed in 1948. Yeah, just a few years after World War II ended. So for the decommissioning of planes and things like that. But funny enough, apparently the RAF never fully decommissioned the airfield. They kept hold of it after the war, even though it was leased back to York, to the York private flying club that owned it, I believe, before the war. However, yeah, due to high costs, the airfield closed in 1950, or in the 1950s. Apparently the York Council wanted, or were hoping, that it would pick up popularity and then eventually become a proper airport, but that never happened. So yeah, they kind of left York City Council with a bit of a grey area. I mean, it was just a question of what to do with this massive abandoned airfield. Like, you could tell, just now, yeah, go a quick pause. Like I said earlier, there's lots of big lumps in the ground here, and pretty much every single one is an old blast shelter, which is quite funny. Anyway, so yeah. Anyway, like I was saying, yeah, in the 1950s, the airfield was closed, and that kind of left York Council with this massive flat space and not really any purpose for it. So in the 1980s, the development of the airfield began. Yeah, the whole airfield site is now covered, well, not the whole airfield site, more or less, but a big chunk of the airfield site is now covered in Clifton Moor industrial estate. A large housing development was built in the 80s as well. However, that did leave small chunks of the airfield, for example here, where we are right now. This is, yeah, like I said, this is now the Clifton Backies Nature Reserve. But then also left one very small section of runway, which we can have a look at while we're here. But that is now part of an industrial estate as well. Someone's revving their engine over there. I just realised we've hardly moved. We're back where we started. There's the concrete foundation from earlier. Well, let's see, we've done a little bit of a circle, but let's go around, let's see what else we can find. Right then, so we're pretty much there. I mean, the bunkers we're looking for is over that way. But just thought I'd come here quick, because I just found this. Another large concrete foundation of something. Yeah, I presume there would have been some sort of airfield building here. As you can see, there's nothing left of it, if there was. But I'm clearly not the first person to come down here. It'd be nice to actually get under some of these trees, because it's, like I said, it's currently raining. Yeah. Oh, hello. I think we might have found ourselves what happened to our building. Let's have a look in here. Ow. Oh, wow, this is not what I thought it would be. Well, you see this remains here, all along here. I believe we've just found ourselves a Stanton shelter. Or at least what's left of one. Just as I was talking about before, this I believe was a Stanton grade area shelter, which, like I said, commonly found on airfields, used to defend, used to provide refuge during air raids. And they're a lot bigger than I thought they'd be, I'll be honest. I mean, I have seen them before, but not like properly up close. You can see where the outlines used to be, all along the edge here. You can see the ferro concrete wall here. Well, it's a brick and concrete wall. This would have come up over the top in like a big arc. And this here, back wall here, would have been hang on a second. This would have been the entrance. Huh, hang on. I might be wrong, actually. Maybe it's not a Stanton shelter. Maybe one of you guys correct me in the comments if you happen to know. Because if you look at it, that's clearly an entrance to a doorway, and the brick seems to stop here, which implies that this was a doorway. However, the Stanton shelters, at least the ones I've seen, their entrances tend to be kind of going down the side and then in, like that. Not just flat into the front. So maybe it wasn't a Stanton shelter, like I said. Maybe it was in fact just an airfield building, just an airfield building. But I guess unless someone happens to know, I guess we won't know. Oh, you got these little hooks in the ground, which is interesting. Broken bits of metal, there's a few of these dotted around. It's interesting. Not these used to be. But you look around, you got these massive slabs of concrete, and you got low outlines of brick, which tells me that this was a little complex of buildings. So it would make sense if that one over there, the buildings we found over there, were in fact buildings and not area shelters. I mean, if any of you guys watching can help me with this, then obviously leave a comment in the comments. Yeah, just leave in the comments about kind of what we're looking at. I mean, I've done research obviously on these places, but I'm pretty new to the whole war stuff, so yeah, we've got these little bits here, little lumps in the ground with little bits of rebar sticking out of them, it looks like. I wonder what those used to be. They almost look like the metal coming out of them almost look like hooks. So maybe they were supports for maybe tent structures or something. But it is interesting because they run all along the edge here. Well, we're going to have to have a look at that one. But anyway, a little bit more mud and then we'll be at the place that we want to be. So I will see you guys in a second. Right then guys, we've trekked through mud and water, but we're finally here. You can see all along here, these little tufts of grass or bush Those are all old blast shelters. Not sure that helps. Here we go, here's a better view. So you've got the inside of the bunkers here. And then there you go, you've got this big brick wall that would have gone into a room on the side there. In fact, there's some old fence posts and concrete fence posts down there, which is interesting. This would have... Oh, let's see, this is interesting. Just gonna see, every day is a school day, learning new things all the time. So this is interesting. So it seems that the bunker was split into these bunkers were split into two separate rooms. You had this front room here, which had these two rooms off to the side, a large wall. And then you had another one on the other side, which went in, then kind of in, and then out with another entrance. Like I said, these bunkers never would have been used for like command or for any big purpose particularly. These were used as temporary shelters in the case of a bombing attack. This field is very boggy. It's good view. Have a look inside some of these rooms. As you can see though, all of these bunkers have now been left pretty much entirely to nature, which makes them very hard to get into. But still, I mean, always worth exploring, because who knows, one day it might not even be here anymore. And better it look like this, I believe, than it not being here at all. Yeah. It is an interesting one. This is differently shaped. There we are, we've got another... This one's shaped different, interestingly. So we've got the entrance here, an entrance... Is that an entrance? No, that's not an entrance, okay. Main entrance here, and then a room around this end. And let's see if we can have a look around the other end. This one's been pretty much filled in with concrete. Ow! Oh, I just pulled a thorn out of my neck. That's fun. Anyway, let's have a look. Okay. That's interesting. So it had this bunker has obviously got the entrance there, and it had two rooms. It looks like it had a room going off that way which you looked at, and another room going off into here, which now has a tree growing out of it. So yeah, I can't see these bunkers being used anytime soon. Right then, guys, we're at the next bunker. I'll be honest, I can't actually remember where I came out, so we might have already explored this one, but we're having a look anyway. Who cares? It's really cool. Let's have a look inside. I'm stuck. There we go. Ah, this is better. This is more like it. I wonder how boggy it is. I wonder if we'll be able to walk around inside. I reckon we'd probably be alright, I'll be honest. Outside's quite boggy. Oh, let's see a look. I don't actually know about that end. This gives you a pretty good view actually. So, as you see, these larger blast bunkers had two entrances at the front and the back. The back entrance, or whichever way around. But the entrances would go in and into two small rooms along this side, and then this entrance would go to two small rooms on that side. Well, that does make me think. I wonder why these two rooms weren't connected. I presume this basically, I guess, gave you two separate bunkers, if you think about it. If it's all connected, then I guess the centre will be less supported, so if in the case of a bomb hit, it would be more likely to damage or destroy the bunker. But if you look at this, since you've got it split into two, and you've got this big wall, really thick wall in the middle, which would support the roof of this bunker, so that in the case of a bomb hit, it would be able to resist or being destroyed a lot more, which is really interesting. I find it interesting how obviously during the war these would have been busy old bunkers. They would have been heavily used, but now it's just but now the only thing using them are the trees and the birds. And, well, I guess us at the same time. I feel like, to a degree, I feel like better them look like this, like they do now, than them not being here at all. Because it's just little bits like this. Although you may not think it's a huge amount, I mean at this point it's a load of little brick walls. They are part of the airfield story, I think. And a part of the story of the people that worked here, lived here, and I guess died here as well. And I believe that's important. Obviously, the more it gets removed and demolished, then the more that story gets forgotten. Which is sad, really, if you think about it. But still, at least we can be lucky, we can be glad that the remains of these bunkers are still, in fact, still here. Yeah, let's head back and see what else we find in those woods. So I'll see you in a second. Right then, we're back where we started. We've got a little stream going along there. We're back here, we've got the flooded area over there with the old bits of rubble and some of the old blast shuttles over there. And we're back at this one. Nice. There we are. Have a look inside, have a look inside. Did we look inside this one? Oh, I genuinely don't remember. It's been like 2 hours. I have a short attention span. Let's have a look. There we are. Let's have a look inside. Right then. It's interesting, all of these remains that we found, at least so far, are basically the same, to be honest. There is, with a couple of very slight design variations. But yet, even though they are incredibly similar, I feel like they're all incredibly fascinating. I mean, I don't know how, obviously, these have been here since the 1940s, yet we've got this giant tree growing out the middle of it that's torn up the wall completely, pretty much. Right then. There we go. Right then. We're in this little damp woods. I think it's time we call it a day. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you're new around here, be sure to check out some of my other videos. I like to do a bit of abandoned place exploring every now and then. But I also like doing some water sports, parkour, a little bit of everything, more or less, whatever I feel like doing, to be honest. So yeah, if you're new around here, oh Jesus. Yeah, if you're new around here, be sure to check out some of my older videos. Also, if you haven't already, give me a follow on Instagram at JimButlerYT. I'll put the link in the description. You'll know exactly when the next video is coming out. I mean, I'll try and stick to Saturday at 6 PM, but things happen, these things change. So yeah, if you want to know when I upload, then put on that notification bell and give me a follow on Instagram at JimButlerYT. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please leave a like, subscribe, and if you've been to this place before, or if you happen to know any cool facts about this place, then be sure to leave them in the comments. And also, another thing to leave in the comments, that's a fun thing, yeah. If you've been counting, leave in the comments how many of these blast bunkers we've visited today, because I don't remember. I mean, I've probably gone to like the same ones multiple times and not realised. So yeah, if anyone's been counting, then leave the amount we've visited in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a nice day.